Hello, Aecrix here. You can call me Eric. I'm a novice woodworker, which basically means I just make wood into shapes. I'm going to try to make a book-styled box. I've seen a few renditions of this type of box in the past, and it's always intrigued me. The box will be themed after a cleric of Bahamut, and what that means is dragons. It's just dragons. Now, I want the book to look like an ancient tome that the character finds while adventuring, so I need the tome to look patinaed and weathered. This book box should actually look like a book, with a separate spline and pages. I want it to be incredibly durable. And finally, since I know the soon-to-be owner of this ancient tome, and I happen to know that they have a lot of dice, the box should be able to keep itself closed under a decent amount of internal pressure. Let's get started with the project. I'll be making this entire box from poplar and cherry offcuts. This is my first time working with poplar, and I must say, it is incredibly underrated. Now, you might notice that this poplar has a giant fleck in it. That basically means a split in the wood that threatens the structural integrity of the wood. I'm using this piece purposefully, as I believe it'll add character and weathering to the book. After squaring these boards, I split my poplar in half, which reveals even more flecks. I need it to be a tall enough book to where when it's being opened, like this, there's room for a dice tower that has room for dice. That's the big thing here. I really like the idea of wood grain naturally becoming the pages of the book, so I cut out a few strips where I see the grain is the tightest. And if you see here, these already look like pages. Isn't that cool? It looks like a decent little book, right? But that's not tall enough. I need this to be taller to have a dice tower inside. Now, that looks just about perfect. I can already start to envision the final product. If these pages are going to add sturdiness to my tome, they'll have to be laminated into single strips. So I cut them roughly to size. Only, there's a problem. I want to use this offcut of the original board. Unfortunately, it's very slender. To cut this safely, I'm going to raise my saw blade a few millimeters shy of the top and run it through. This will keep the strip together in one piece and reduce the chances of me hurting myself. Then I can break it apart with a handsaw. It's time to laminate. I'm using 2 straight-edged boards to force these strips of wood together. Let's take a crack at this book spline. I could go about this in so many different ways, but I'm thinking I want to keep this one board. By stacking the front and back boards, along with my soon-to-be pages, I can get a rough idea of how tall I want the spline to be. After cutting it to size, I'm thinking, why not just remove the material from the inside? So I changed my saw blades into a dado stack and used my box joint jig to start me off. Then I can carefully remove all the material between those 2 markers. I think it worked pretty well. With the spline cut to size, I can now transfer its bindings to the front and back panels. These measurements will have to be removed to allow them to snugly fit into the spline. We've gotten to the point that this is actually starting to look like a book. I'm going to round over the panels and sand them down while it's easy. Then I'm going to attach the bottom panel to the spline, using a straight-edged board to create a true 90-degree angle. The book pages should be dry enough to work with now, though I'll see about squaring them off. I'll be sanding them with 80 grit sandpaper. To remove a lot of material, I'm not laying it flat, I'm just doing a slight tilt. Just a slight tilt. And what that'll do is it'll dig into the boards themselves and remove, because this is so uneven, look at that. I need to remove an equal amount on both sides, but I need it to dig in. because I don't want to sit here for 3 hours on this little tiny piece. I mean, it's nice. Following the wood grain itself for pages, I just think that's nice. After cleaning up the pages with a single test fit, I see that they aren't flush with the front page, so I rub them on some sandpaper to get a better fit. To help me align these pages, I'll tape them together. Then I can draw a line on their inner sides with a pencil. This gives me a reference point for the glue up. Placing the top panel of my book on top will secure them, and I can weigh it down further with some hand weights. I think that's enough for day one. If you've liked this content so far, please subscribe. Every little bit helps small channels like mine. Look at this frickin' book, dude. Oh man, nice. I really want to attach my cover to this book, but it cannot go in as is. The edging that meets the book spline needs to be sanded down evenly, otherwise its right edge corners will catch and erode, causing damage. I also need to clean up the glue from the pages, so I take a chisel and chip away very carefully. I'm not sure how to keep the cover of my book stable while I drill into it. I decided to tape the sides to provide some sort of rigidity. Now I'm simply going to cut and sand off some copper wiring and drill into the sides of the spline bindings. Alright, we're kind of in here now. You see here, it's really hitting that as it comes up. And I think it's just stuck there. So I need to take these out and then really sand that portion down. Okay, here we go. Oh, there we go. Ah! Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at that. It's exactly where I want it. Look at that book I made out of wood. That's a box. Also a dice tower. Well, cool. That went perfectly. I'm going to round over the spline and give it a good sanding to make the grain visible. Here comes the questionable part. I want to engrave the front and back covers to this book with dragon scales, so I go about setting that up. After I run it once, I realize that it takes 3 hours per pass. I engraved for the rest of the day, totaling 9 hours. Here's the next morning. Wow, that looks really good. Yeah, so I just engraved this upside down, which is super awesome because this took 9 hours. How do you mess up like this? I don't understand. This is what happens when you learn something new, which is every video I do. Yeah, so I need to re-engrave the cover, which will take another 6 hours. Welcome to day 3. I feel great. I had a whole day of rest where I definitely didn't fall down a hole of self-loathing. Everything is fine. It's time to add a stain to this perfect engraving. Now remember, I want this dragon skin tome to look patinaed and weathered. The engraving by itself does look amazing, but it's way too clean, and thus, something about it needs to change. And basically everything on this channel is an experiment. I go ahead and tape off all my pages to keep myself from getting stain on them. I mean, come on. Does that not look like some smog shit right there? I'm so close to the end of this project, I can taste it. Oh, actually, that's the sawdust in the air. Always wear a respirator. For this book to become a dice tower, well, it needs a dice tower. I quickly cut out the dimensions I'm looking for. I split it in half, round it over, and using the other half, I can cut strips to the depth I want the dice tower to become, then just glue them together. After waiting about an hour, I cut smaller strips for the insides of the dice tower. I like to use my biggest dice during this process, to ensure I don't make a dice trap instead of a dice tower. The tower needs a good sanding, and I can attach it to the bottom of the cover. Only, once again, there's a problem. I've already stained this cover, so gluing something to it has a very high risk of glue squeeze out affecting the final look of my project. If I come back and sand or chisel the glue off, it will affect the stain and, more importantly, the engraving underneath. To greatly minimize this risk, I'm going to set up my tower exactly where I want it and meticulously put tape down exactly where wood meets wood. Would you look at that? I am so glad that I did not mess that part up. Now for the dividers. These will be the thickest pieces of wood in the entire project. I need them to be big enough to attach large magnets to, and that's how I'm thinking of closing this book. I'm going to trim off the excess depth and take notches off the end. Removing material at the end of the dividers will ensure that my book cover doesn't rub along them. Now I can glue them into place and weigh them down with some hand weights. I've gotta say, if you're interested in getting into small woodworking projects, you should really get yourself some dumbbell weights. I've used them in every single project to date. As you see here, with the addition of my dice tower, my cover no longer closes cleanly, so I need to resand that. There we go. It's time to finish the project. No, not be finished, finishing. I'm going to be trying a lacquer finish. I've never used lacquer before, but it seems easy, and it adds a lot of durability to your projects. I sprayed each side with 4 coats, then took a 320 grit sandpaper and gently rubbed the surfaces in a circular motion. I kept sanding until every part of the surface was covered in an even layer of dried lacquer powder.
A fucking bug just landed directly on my spot, so I'm gonna have to resand this again.
After removing the bug that was almost immortalized into this box, I sanded and promptly refinished. Welcome to day 4, the day I actually finish this dragon tome. I have 2 final steps before this project is done. First, I need to attach my magnets. To do this correctly, I'm using some brass finishing nails to mark the locations I want to drill. Then, I drill the top and bottom with a fish bit, slightly larger than the magnets. To attach them, I'm using super glue gel on the cover. The bottom is a little trickier. The fish bit does not leave a perfect flat drill hole, so I'm going to fill then flatten some sawdust into the previously drilled holes. Then I can add a healthy dose of liquid super glue and press the magnet down with a large amount of pressure. Next, I need to make felt underlayments for the box. Cutting some thin MDF slightly undersized, I can then attach felt with some spray contact cement. Once the spray is on, I weigh them down for about 10 minutes to flatten. In they go.
So, problem. The underlayment is too thick, and this is as thin as I could possibly go. So, it has to come out. I just have to pray that I can do that easily. This needs to be broken in a way that doesn't hurt me or send me to the hospital again, you know?
With that absolute headache out of the way, I replaced it with some black felt, because I was out of the light blue felt. And I'm sorry, but I'm just not going back to Michael's. And here we are with the finished Dragon Tome. It was very interesting learning how to make a book box. This is by far the most unique type of box I've made so far, and it's incredibly sturdy. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was a fun project for me. Like always, have a good day. And remember, creativity is a skill, not a talent. Until next time.